Alright, hey everyone. So I want to talk about this movie called King Richard, starring Will Smith, and it's about the Venus and Serena Williams girls, tennis players, who we know. But King Richard is talking about Richard Williams, who is their father, and about, how scripted their career is and how they got to where they are, really. But it's about a movie, I guess, showing Richard, the father, coaching and believing in his girls from day one to be successful and where they're at today. But I haven't watched it. I mean, it's only in theaters right now, and I don't plan to go to any movie. I'll watch it when it comes out for free, but I mean, why give these people their money? Like why are we supporting the theaters when literally the movies are scripted and they're just for entertainment? But I mean, it's just deep when you think about stupid stuff like that. But anyways, I want to talk about how this movie was released by the numbers, and just going even more in detail to their late sister who passed away in 2003, involved in a shooting, supposedly, but how that also relates to the movie and the girls that we know as Venus and Serena. But just taking a look at the movie title, King Richard, equating to 102. 102 being just like top 5 numbers that we always see stamped on Black people. And again, this movie is about Richard Williams, who also shares the Gematria of 102, like the name of the movie title. I also want to point out that Venus and Serena, if you run their birthday difference from, like, say this year, for example, Venus Williams, her birthday being June 17th, and then running it to Serena's birthday, September 26th, both of 2021, it'll show you that they're 102 days difference, not including the year that they're actually apart, but like just their birthdays are 102 days difference every single year. And another thing that definitely stands out is Will Smith, because Will Smith's full name also has Gematria of 102, Willard Carroll Smith Jr. So I mean, just looking at, I could stop there, like that's enough to know that this is all just a tribute to the number 102 right there. But to take it further, the movie was actually released on November 19th in the United States, which is the day that leaves 42 days left in the year. Bingo, another number that we often see. So we usually see 76, 59, 102, or 42, sometimes 93, being the 5 numbers that are always stamped on Black people. But if you notice here, it says his birthday is February 14th of 1942, so 42 there. Even whenever you write out the word, or the number in word form, 42 equals 142, just like how it's showing you that his birthday is 14/2, which I don't even necessarily know if that's true, because in another search I did for his birthday, it pops up as February 16th. So either way, born in 42, and he's the age of 79 right now. But again, the 2 numbers we've been talking about, 42 and 102, relate to the N-word and slavery. But seeing that the movie released in Telluride for that festival thing that they do, and then the difference in days to the actual release date in the United States is a span of 79 days, like how Richard is currently 79 years old right now, and Society of Jesus equates to 79. So very interesting there. But that's a span. If you don't put a span on it, it's 78 days. And in the original trailer for this movie, I took a clip of what he says. He says, "I wrote me a 78-page plan for their whole career before they was even born." Okay, does that not stand out at all? Does anybody ever write out a plan about their child's life and what they're going to do in their life? I mean, I know people have futuristic ideas, and like, as in they want just good things for their kid, but he literally is trying to tell you that he knew that they were going to be tennis players. this whole time. And, you know, that's what this movie's probably all about. It's how he's just pushing them to be stars and such. And do realize that Venus, her middle name is Venus Ebony Star Williams. So, I mean, so many astrological things you can probably find with it, with her name even being Venus. But so a 78-page plan, Jesuit equals 78 and 42. But what else also is interesting is Beyonce put out a song for the soundtrack of this movie called Be Alive. And in it, I don't know if you'll hear it that well, but I'll just play a short clip. But he literally says, the father speaking here, and says something like about their future, knowing what their plans were. Or how does he word it? He basically says, like, he knew their future before they were even born. Before they were even born, he knew their future, is what he's saying. So I'll play it. If you can't hear it, I'll leave this video attached, and you can just listen to the first 10 seconds, and that'll be done. So here we go.
We had the kids' future planned before you were born.
Yeah, we had the kids' future planned before they were born. All right, nothing stands out about that, right? But moving on. I want to point out that the word tennis equates to 81, 2 out of the 4 ciphers. And this is about Serena here. She became the highest ranked #1 player in the singles on the Jesuit date 7/8, 78 like Jesuit. But from that date that she became #1 to her upcoming birthday that year was 81 days before her birthday. So again, like tennis, big ritual. And let's not forget that ritual equals 81, just like tennis. Probably in the same ciphers. Yeah, look at that. Even shares a 27. So, and then this one is supposed to be about Venus. I forgot to note that. But Venus reached her #1 ranking in the singles on February 25th of 2002, becoming the first African American woman to do so in the Open era, and the second time since Althea Gibson. So the date that she became #1, February 25th, is the day that leaves 309 days left in the year. And she was noted to be the first African American, and African American equals 309, and as well as how the other former tennis star who was also black, Althea Gibson, her full name, Althea Neal Gibson, equals 309. Just like African American, and then just like how February 25th was the day leaving 309 days left in the year. So perfectly well put together for Venus, you know, by the numbers, and especially trying to compare her to Gibson, right? But another thing that definitely stands out is if you just take Althea Gibson, that equals 113, 113. And you look at the day, February 25th, and run it to Venus's upcoming birthday that year, a span of 113 days. But that's not it. Like Venus's birthday, 6/17, like 617. 617 is the 113th prime number. So, I mean, that's that big deception number too that we're all aware of, 113. But I mean, in regards to Althea Gibson, perfect. I don't know how you can get it better on that. But as I talked about earlier, there was an older sister who died in a supposed shooting in Los Angeles, Yetunde Price, and you'll see that her birthday was August 9th, died at the age of 31 on September 14th of 03. So just a little description. I mean, she was many things. She was like a nurse, she had a barber shop, but she was also the personal assistant for her sisters. So she was always attending their tournaments and all that, you know, doing the research, that's what it said. So Yetunde, dying at the age of 31, her name equates to 31. But if you want to look at the day that from her birthday, the year that she died, to the actual date that she died, August 9th to September 14th of 03, you'll see it was her 37th day of her age when she was, when she was killed in a shooting, which also equates to 37 in Los Angeles, 37, killed 37. Her last name, Price, equals 157, which is the 37th prime number. And the reason why she has a different last name is because they don't share the same father, but they share the same mother. But also taking a look at the day that she died, September 14th, that is the 257th day of the year, like blood sacrifice equals 257. And if you take the day that she died and run it to what would have been her upcoming birthday the following year, it was a span of 331 days, and 331 is the 67th prime number. Again, like blood sacrifice equals 67. The word assistant equals 67. And something that I caught along the way is the Compton rapper The Game dedicated a song to her memory called Dreams. And look at the release date that song was put out, 6/7, another 67. So, I mean, that could have been on 6/6 or 6/8, but it had to be on 6/7, right? And then the mother's name, I don't even know how you pronounce her first name correctly, but her mother's first and last name equals 67. Also caught my attention. But so we're talking about this movie, and she's portrayed in this movie as well. I mean, obviously, because they all grew up together, and it talks about from their childhood up. But September 14th, the anniversary death date of Yatunda. And if you run that date to the release date of this movie, November 19th, it was also 67 days apart, 67 days difference. I think that might have been a span. But still, just like seeing how all the 67s in her death and then how it even relates to the movie release this year, pretty wild. And then getting to the end here, a way that you can write her death date, 14/9, like September 14th, that's the 35th prime number. And Williams, their surname, Williams equals 35. So definitely, because this has to be in relation to their success and where they're at, because, you got to make literal blood sacrifices to get to, glory and fame. But also what's interesting is just looking at Venus, because Venus is the one that turned pro early at the age of 14. And if you ran Venus's birthday that year to the death date of her sister, it was a span of 90 days difference, and the word sister equals 90. And what also kind of makes me think is because Venus is a planet, obviously, and Venus is often called Earth's sister planet. So just, a lot of this has to do with astrological means and stuff, which I'm not really that familiar with, but I mean, I'm sure if you did the more research, especially on Venus, you'd probably find a lot. But really what got me started was just looking at this movie, because I didn't even hear about this movie. I just happened to see, I don't even know how I found it, just browsing on the internet, I guess, but just seeing that 102 and how heavy that number is stamped, and we see it all the time. Like, I just put out a short video on Billie Holiday, how she died on her 102nd day of her age and was, I think, born on a 102 date numerology, and they blamed it on narcotics. Narcotics equals 102. But anyways, I'll leave it there. We'll see ya.